Is Battlefield 2042 worth playing right now in 2022? That is a question that needs answering, but I'm pretty sure many of you who bought the game decided to drop it after all of the problems that we had at launch, the fixes that needed to happen, the bugs, the glitches, the poor matchmaking, all of that stuff. Is it time to jump back into the game if you're looking for something before the next big release? If you want a short answer from me, is Battlefield 2042 worth playing right now? Yes. Kinda. I wanted to take a look at the current state of the game to accurately answer the question you clicked on this video for. To put into perspective, I disliked the Modern Warfare 2 beta that much that I decided to reinstall Battlefield 2042 so I could at least have some fun in a non-BR shooter, and to be honest, I was pleasantly surprised. 2042 has this just weird, unique quality about it that I think no other game really has, and I think that's what can redeem it. And thanks to the developers working on countless fixes, updates galore throughout the last few months, the seasons that have been added to the game and new content that's been added, I think that Battlefield 2042 is in a very good position for if you wanted to come back. Let's outline something first though. I decided to jump back into this because I have a massive love for the Battlefield franchise. I was incredibly disappointed by the launch of 2042. There's not much that we can really do about it. EA pushed it out the door way too quickly, and that is something that we, can't do anything about. But the main thing that I wanted to outline is that I'm a massive fan. I grew up with Battlefield 3. I grew up with Battlefield 4 and the Bad Company games. I streamed Battlefield 1. And there's even clips on this channel, if you go back and look at my stream highlight stuff, of me just having an absolute blast with that game. Didn't play too much of Battlefield 5 though, and it's just a constant lack of errors on EA's part, but we won't go down that route. The thing that I love about Battlefield is just the big maps, the destruction, and just chaotic nature of the game. It's not overly competitive, it's just fun, and that is the reason why I was so hyped for 2042 and why it was so disappointing that bigger wasn't necessarily better. 128 players, massive maps, there could have been all of these cool things going on, but it just hit the deck. It didn't land, it didn't stick. It wasn't just smooth sailing. It was one giant chaotic EA-filled mess. Which, quite frankly, I think if they'd have released it this year in the holiday season, they probably would have had a better launch with the current state of what the game is. With that out of the way, though, let's start answering the question, which is why you are here. Is Battlefield 2042 good now, and is it worth picking up? Let's talk about the fixes first before we talk about the gameplay and what I actually think of 2042 now. The fixes since launch have been massively updated. They've got really good game stability on PC. The hit registration is a hell of a lot better. The stuttering has gone. There is still some texture issues here and there. Texture's not loading in fully, but they're kind of few and far between. It's usually at the start of a match. Bugs have been worked on a hell of a lot. There isn't the downed bug that was in the game, which just stopped you from playing. You had to literally leave matches because you got stuck in the downed and couldn't revive state. It was the most frustrating thing in the world, and one of the reasons why I stopped playing. I can't speak for stability issues on console, but I hope they've been significantly improved. If you are a console player, please let me know in this video. But on the whole, it is a way smoother experience. I don't need to tell you that though. Go and check out the website if you really want an essay to read, because there are hundreds of patch notes, balance changes, and things that they have changed all the way through since launch, even all the way up until quite recently, where they added a update to renewal, which they basically added a few changes to the map, making it a lot better, but I'll mention more about that later on in the video. The biggest reason, though, I recommend getting back into 2042 is a simple one. Scientists have been cracking this code for years. They can't quite figure out what just makes it work. And that simple thing is it's just fun. The game is fun in so many different aspects than just playing it for a regular shooter. I can spend a whole game with a rocket launcher and C4s going on vehicle duty and blowing the crap out of everything. I may have committed a few war crimes along the way by hitting people with an RPG directly, but yeah, that, we won't talk about that. I'm also very fond of just sniping people, like just whacking on a long distance sniper is so satisfying in a game like this. You can hit people from like 800, 900, even 1,000 meters at times. And when you hear that sweet, crisp, it makes my ears just, I don't know how to describe it. When you get a headshot, it's the most satisfying thing. And the thing that motivates me the most is when I see another sniper on the enemy team and we have a back and forth. It's that I'm going to be better than you type deal, and that's what kind of gets me going. And just when you're hitting shots left, right, and center, when you're on point, you literally feel like the best sniper in the world. Obviously not, because we're just playing video games here. Outside of that, you have fun the way that you want to have fun. You can run into a game with just C4s, you can shotgun people, you can even run around and just stab people in the back if you can get close enough to them. I have a friend who plays the game like Spider-Man, grapples around the map all the time, and just shreds people. He gets like 40 to 50 kills a game. The dude's nuts. I just like the gunplay. I just like how it feels. It's a hell of a lot of fun, and it's just easy to play with my friends and have a good time, regardless of if we're doing well. If we're doing bad, something stupid and fun just happens in the game. I can't really just talk about it because you have to play it to kind of feel what I feel, but I will say one of the coolest features about the game, but despite graphically and all the other stuff, is the T system. I think it's one of my favorite systems in all of shooters that they've introduced. Essentially, you can swap out all of your attachments on the fly. I can go from an 8x to a 4x to a 10x whenever I want on my sniper rifles to suit different needs. Likewise, when I'm working with assault rifles, I can just swap out for like 4x for a bit longer stuff, and I can switch to single fire. Loads of different cool things that you can do, and it's one of the best features I think they've added to the Battlefield game. Saves me having to go all the way back into the menus to swap out something. You can kind of still do that and just run the same thing all the time, but yeah, that's just me. I like that feature so much. 2042 isn't without its faults though. The maps in the game were kind of overblown, big, bombastic, but they kind of didn't fit when they reduced the player base down to 64 players. And it also didn't fit when the population was low, because the problem being is if you've got nothing to fill the maps with, i.e. you're going to have AI components, or AI opponents I should say, it's going to be just you shooting bots, and sometimes that isn't fun. It is fun occasionally, you can go and do that in the bot lobbies, but yeah, it's not the same type of fun that you have satisfying, beating another person, outgunning somebody. They didn't have a bunch of modes for a long period of time. Then they added Rush into the game. They added Blakefruit as its own playlist, Conquest as well. I know that Portal's been updated and such, and there may still be a bit of jank around the edges, but I will say that 2042 isn't perfect. It still has a long way to go, I think, to get to the point that we expected it to be. But with updates and the population, hopefully fans of the series will come back. Hopefully then we'll see it prosper again. As for new content, they've added the season passes in, the typical stuff, cosmetics, all that stuff, all the BS that you get in all those shooter games and stuff. They've actually added more content than Halo Infinite, and that is saying something. They've reworked old maps like Kaleidoscope and Renewal. I don't know if they've reworked any others. They added a new map in called Stranded, which is a lot of fun. It's like a close quarters inside of a ship, but outside as well. And I really enjoy it. I played it on Conquest. I've also played it on Breakthrough. They've got old weapons that they've brought back into the Portal, and also added into the game as well that you can use as you level up through the Battle Pass, which is fantastic. And hopefully, the bot lobbies will be something as like a way for people to get into the game, and then they'll progress and the population will just expand and expand. And this is why I'm making a type of video like this, because I think that it has the potential, but I understand if you are very apprehensive and you don't want to put any money down on the game because it was kind of bad at launch. So I would wait for a sale. Steam sale, if you can get it on Steam. Xbox is coming around the corner with its probably Christmas or holiday sales. Black Friday sales, you can probably get it super cheap as well. Even the deluxe edition, which will give you like a bunch of stuff as well. And the future of the game is very bright, but it's gonna have its issues. It's gonna have its bumps in the road. Hopefully, EA don't just straight up abandon it like they did with a little shooter game called Anthem. But we won't talk about that. And hopefully, this game can have a thriving future, and then they don't mess it up again. But it's EA. EA does those things to its developers. So let's just round it out on a conclusion. If you've watched this video, is this game worth picking up in 2022? From me, yes. Is it worth playing? Is it good? Yes. That's my overall answer. Hopefully this video has been insightful and also quite fun to watch, and hopefully you have enjoyed it. If you have, please make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content, and turn on that notification bell. That little bell thing really helps out to be notified when I bring out new content as well. Check out all the links in the description. I hope to make more videos like this real soon. This has been Jimbo, and I'll see you guys next time.